Losing my son was the last straw. It was a heartbreak I thought I would never have to face. And I say this because I had already been through so much prior to his passing. I felt like life had been breaking me down over and over and over and over again. But somehow, those battles prepared me to survive the unthinkable. You're listening to Purpose, Not Pity, a space for stories that hurt, heal, and remind you that you're not alone. I'm Erika Hernandez, storyteller, bonus mom, grieving mother, healing human. This isn't a podcast about having it all figured out. It's about showing up in the middle of the mess, rebuilding piece by piece, and choosing purpose, not pity. Whether you're deep in your own grief, trying to find your voice again, or just searching for a little light in the dark, this space is for you. Let's talk about it, all of it. If you listen to episode 1, you know I opened this podcast with a letter to my son. That episode was straight tears and probably the most personal thing I have put out into the world. And I wanted to start there because that is my loss, that is my truth, and it's the reason why I even started this podcast in the first place. But this podcast isn't just about me. It's about all of us because we have all had moments that crack us wide open, whether it's a heartbreak, a disappointment, or a shift we never asked for. And somehow we keep going, or at least try to. So today I want to talk about something every single one of us has lived through. And that is who we were before and who we are becoming, or who we become after. Because loss doesn't just take away who or what we love, it changes us forever. Here's the truth. Losing Jovan was the last straw for me. It was the one heartbreak I thought I would never have to face. I could imagine myself going through any heartbreak, any other trial or tribulation, but losing my son? Absolutely not. And I say that because I had already been through so much. Life had already handed me more than my fair share. I had lived through childhood abuse, betrayal, divorce, surviving what I call now a religious cult, and the heartbreak of losing lifelong friendships I thought I would never lose. So by the time Jovan passed, I felt like life had given me way too many battles that I absolutely did not sign up for. And because of that, I built walls. I mastered laughing in public while crying into my pillow at night. And people thought I had it all together. But the reality, I was covering that mess. And let me tell you, I covered it well. And maybe you have felt that way too. Maybe life has stacked trial after trial after trial on your back. And maybe you've had that moment where you thought, this is it. I can't take it anymore. Life can't take one more thing from me, or life cannot throw one more heartbreak at me. And then it does. So when I say this just isn't about me, it's because I know we've all been through some shit. And when life breaks us open, it doesn't just take what or who we love. It takes the version of us that existed before it happened. Remembering who we were before heartbreak isn't always easy. I know for me, I've been so focused on or overly obsessed on who I'm becoming or who I am now that the last 2 years have been such a blur that I had to ask people close to me, who was Erika before September 2nd, 2023? My mom's answer stung a bit. She told me I wasn't close to them, and I'm going to assume them is her and my dad, that I could be cold, that I put up walls, and that I never showed people my true feelings. And she's not wrong. Trauma shaped me that way. But then I went ahead and I asked a childhood friend of mine, Ariana, who I've known since the 6th grade. I mean, I think she has seen me go through all the phases pretty much in life. And her answer gave me another perspective. She said, outgoing and social, a leader not afraid of taking charge, outspoken, extremely loyal, at times confrontational and aggressive, but also incredibly kind. And then I went ahead and I asked my sister. Her answer hit me differently. Truly not what I was expecting. I was expecting her to be a little bit more along the lines of my mom, but no. She said before Jovan's passing, I always felt like you poured yourself into the life you were building, especially the image you created on social media and in business. That version of you was strong, polished, and focused. And I saw you trying to live that out in your real life too. To me, it felt like you lived in two different worlds, the one you created and the one you were living. And you carried both really strongly. You've always been resilient, guarded, and just about your own business. So, $1 million question here. Which version was true? Honestly, all of them. My mom saw one version of me, my friend saw another version of me, and my sister saw yet another. And that's the thing. Our before selves are complicated, are layered, and sometimes misunderstood. People will always remember us differently depending on how close they stood to our walls. At home, I was guarded. Out in the world, I was ambitious, funny, and loyal. Online, I was polished. And that was all of me. That is the truth. So now I want you to think about it. Who were you before the heartbreak? Before the divorce? Before the diagnosis? Before the friendship ended? Before the dream slipped away? Who were you? What did people see in you back then? And what did you see in yourself? Think about it. Because one of the hardest things about loss is realizing that that version of us doesn't exist anymore. So now let's talk about the shift. The shift is the moment life burns your old self to the ground. For me, when Jovan passed, everything I thought that mattered just didn't. The bills, the arguments, the needing to justify myself, the petty stuff. None of it could compare to losing my son. And that's when I knew I will never be the same Erica again. And the shift showed up in ways I didn't expect. Slowly, I was more patient, more present, more gentle with not only my bonus kids, but with my son Neziel. And I hate that it took losing one child to learn that lesson, but it did. And sometimes I ask myself, did I really have to go through this to become the version I was truly meant to be? And maybe for you, that shift was signing divorce papers or walking out of the hospital without the person you love or realizing that the career you build your entire identity around is gone. Whatever that looks like, loss takes the version of us that existed before and strips that version away. And we're left staring in the mirror at someone we don't even know, we can't even recognize. So, who are we now? For me, I value things that I didn't give two shits about before. I value time in a way I never did before. I value presence. I value the small moments, the ones you don't get back. But do I miss the old me? Abso-fucking-lutely. I miss the carefree me, the me who could laugh without people seeing a shadow behind it, the me who wasn't consistently looked at as the mom who lost her son. And maybe you feel that way too. Maybe you've missed that version or parts of yourself who existed before your heartbreak. And you're allowed to grieve that version. And your feelings are valid for grieving that version. But here's the truth I've learned. We will never be the same people we were before. We might have pieces and parts of who we used to be, but we will never fully be the same person. And that's not called failure. That is not called failure. That is called transformation. And if you're not transforming, you are not growing. Because the person you were before wasn't built to carry what you're carrying now. The version of you couldn't handle it. But the person you are now, you're battle tested. You're wiser. You're softer in the right places and you're stronger in the right places. And even if you don't see it yet, because sometimes I don't either, the person you are becoming is worthy. And I'm going to say that to myself. The person that I am becoming is worthy. That person is worth meeting. That person is worth knowing. That person is worth believing in. That person is worth giving a shot. Because we deserve it. So if you're listening to this and you feel like you've lost yourself, I need you to hear me. You are not lost. You are being remade. I'm going to say that again. You are not lost. You are being remade. And I'm going to say it to myself. I am not lost. I am being remade. Yes, it hurts. Yes, we'll miss who we used to be. But the version that's being built right now, that version is carrying wisdom, compassion, and a whole new way of seeing life. That's what Purpose Not Pity is about. It's not just about surviving the heartbreak. It's about learning to rebuild. And we are going to learn to rebuild together here. So here's what I want you to do. Take a moment today to think about your before self. The old version of you. Who you were. What did people see in you? And what did you see and love about yourself? Think about it. Then let it go and honor who you are now and who you are becoming. The version of you that is still here today. The version of you that is still breathing today. The version of you that is still fighting to live with purpose. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening and holding space with me today. If something in this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who might need it, or just let it sit with you. That's enough. You can follow along on TikTok and Instagram at by Erika Hernandez for more stories, updates, and little pieces of healing in real time. And remember, this journey isn't about perfection, it's about presence. I'll see you next time, and until then, keep choosing purpose over pity.